Hello everyone, I'm Alice, this is the Bumbling blogger, and I'm here today with our November and December combined humongous book haul. So November was a bad month for us because I got tonsillitis twice and I could barely speak, so we didn't really get any filming done, and then the tonsillitis continued into December. I thought I was free. I was not free. And I also worked an absolute buck ton and then left my job. So it's been a big month, to say the least, which is why it's nearly the end of January and we're only just bringing you our November and December book haul. But at least that means that we will have it out of the way and we will be ready to do monthly hauls again from January onwards. So, I'm only going to briefly show you all of these books. Most of them have already been in other videos that we've done, whether that's Book Box Battle, whether that's surprise unboxings. So, you will have already seen quite a few of these. If there are any that you haven't, that you would like showcased further, just like hit me up down in the comments and I can do like a short showing off all the bits, because we don't really have time today. But, here we go. Let's get on with it. So, I'm going to start off with the books that I think you've probably seen before. There are two of these that I think you haven't seen much of, so I'm going to quickly show you those. The first being Fairy Loot's edition of Foul Lady Fortune, which I can't remember if I actually did an unboxing for or not. So there's the edges. Here is one of the end pages. Here is the other end page. And we've also got beautiful foiling under the dust jacket. And also the Fairy Loot edition of Kingdom of the Feared. I don't know if I did an unboxing for this one either. So you've got the stenciled edges. Everybody's been complaining that there's a purple, and I've only just realised that that's why I didn't notice, because mine isn't purple, mine is just black. Mine's normal. I have no idea. There's a lot going on with Fairy Loot at the moment. We've then got the stenciling on the hardcover case, and we've got the under the dust jacket artwork too. And then all of the rest of these, I think, that I've already shown you in one way, shape or form. Bear with me, I'm just trying to find somewhere safe that I can put these. I don't want to put them on anything that's been babied too much. So we have the Waterstones edition of Foul Lady Fortune. The main difference with this one being that it has this gorgeous foiling under the dust jacket. We have Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which was Fairy Loot Adults December pick. That's by Heather Fawcett. We have the Illumicrate edition of The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. Fairy Loot's The Ones We Burn by Rebecca Mix, which has stunning sprayed edges. Owl Crate's editions of The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. All from the December Books Box Battle. No, November. Then we have A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross, which has gorgeous stenciled edges. We have The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim, which again with the gorgeous stenciled edges. We have The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, again with the gorgeous stenciled edges. Fairy Loot really have been like knocking out of the park this year. We have Ocean's Echo by Illumicrate, which is the sequel to Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. Oh my gosh, the little chair has just like given up the ghost. We'll deal with that later. We have A Diary of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This was Fairy Loot's September adult pick. And then Poster Girl by Veronica Roth, which was their November adult pick. October? I've lost track of all of my months. We have Grey Warren by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the Owl Crate exclusive edition that I bought over Black Friday. And Blood March by Tracy Dion. Again, an Owl Crate edition. Then we have Princess of Souls by Alexandra Christo, which was in a Fairy Loot box. The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew, the Owl Crate version. One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, Fairy Loot. And The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew, the Illumicrate version. We then have some Waterstones editions, which include this cool boxed up edition of Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. I will not open that up because the box is a bitch to get open and closed, but it's in there and I like it. It just lives in the box forever. We have 5 Survive by Holly Jackson, which has these amazing stenciled edges that say crime scene do not cross. I liked A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I mean, I loved the first 2 books. The third one let me down a lot, but I'm looking forward to reading something else from her. And then we have the Scattered Showers stories by Rainbow Rowell as well, which have these gorgeous rainbow edges that have the blue at the top and the bottom. We'll then move on to books that I got for Christmas. As a bookworm, there were quite a few. A lot more than I was expecting. In recent years, I haven't been given that many books because I think people have been scared of getting me books in case I've already got them, but they've just bitten the bullet this year. So first up for the babies, this was from their godfather, The Journey, Big Panda and Tiny Dragon by James Norbury. I know nothing about this, but it looks absolutely beautiful and I can't wait to read it to them. My mum got me the DC superheroes novels. So these are Warbringer, Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo, Superman Dawnbreaker by Matt D. LaPena, Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J. Maas, and Batman Nightwalker by Marie Lu. I loved the Batman book when I read it many years ago, but I didn't own a copy. And I haven't actually read, I think I've read Superman and I thought it was quite good, but I'd be interested in rereading it with Sean. But I haven't read Wonder Woman or Catwoman yet, so it's nice to have those. Mum also got me The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare, but this is signed, which was a huge surprise. Like, oh my god. I think this would be a fun one to read with the babies. I wasn't a huge fan of the Magisterium series, but I think the kids might enjoy it. It was just a bit too middle grade for when I read it, but I can see the merits of it. Mum also got me The Ex-Husband by Karen Hamilton, which I pointed out to her in a charity shop because I really wanted it. And when she got it home, she realised it was signed, which was a shock. And the exact same thing happened with The Guggenheim Mystery by Robin Stevens. I pointed it out to her in the same charity shop and she got it home and she realised I had a signed book plate in it. Which is just the weirdest coincidence that would happen twice in the same charity shop, both with books that I was interested in. Like, I'll take that. And Mum also got me a proof copy of Fierce Fragile Hearts by Sarah Barnard, which means so much to me because I've got proof copies of all of Sarah Barnard's books apart from her 2 most recent releases. And it's just so nice to be able to add this one to the collection. And I loved Beautiful Broken Things, so to have a proof of the sequel, it means a lot. I was so happy with that one. Sean then got me something else that meant a lot, which might seem weird because you already know we've got a lot of copies of House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath, but Sean got me these from a charity shop when he spotted them because he said they could be my annotating copies. And that is just the cutest damn thing because I've been wanting to get into annotating books. I've been seeing a lot of people on Instagram do it and thinking that it looks amazing. And for him to see one of my favourite series in the charity shop and to think of that for me is just so cute. It's so cute. I'm so happy with it. So I will have to reread these soon to do that. He also got me Pog and Tin by Padraig Kenny. I don't know anything about these really, but I know that Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin recommended them and I trust his recommendations on all things middle grade. And I pointed these out when they were in the window in the charity shop and Sean went along and picked them up for me without me knowing, which was sweet. We also have a sprayed edge edition of Idol by Louise O'Neill, which contains an exclusive deleted scene. I haven't actually read Idol yet. I ordered the paperback, a signed copy, when it first came out, and I still haven't got onto it. But now I have a sprayed edge edition, so I can mix and match which one I want to read from. He also got me the first 4 books, they're heavy, man, in the From Blood and Ash series because I was complaining that I didn't want to read my Illumicrate editions, but I wanted to read them soon. So we have From Blood and Ash, we have A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, we have The Crown of Gilded Bones, and we have A Shadow in the Ember. And I've got a feeling I've probably done those all in the wrong order again. This one says it's a Flesh and Fire novel instead of a Blood and Ash novel, so I don't know if that's a spin-off. I didn't know there were spin-off ones. But either way, I have those now, so I have no excuse not to read them, which is nice. And then for the last of the Christmas presents, we have Nevermore and Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. Nevermore in a hardback that he found in a charity shop. This book sells for so much when it's in hardback, and he knew that I wanted to get physical copies because I've got Silverborn on pre-order and I've read the first 3 out of the library. So that's amazing. And then a paperback of Wondersmith, and I love this. I love this so much because it means I can just reread them to my heart's content. I don't need to worry about getting them out of the library, and I have them and they're so beautiful, and I'm really going to love reading those with the kids when they're older. And then last but not least, we have a copy of The Wizards of Once, Twice Magic, which was the last book in the Wizards of Once series that we were missing, by Cressida Cowell, and a paperback copy of Circe by Madeline Miller, because I have a paperback of The Song of Achilles and I have Circe in the Illumicrate... lost my words there. The Illumicrate exclusive slipcase edition, and again, I was worried about reading it, so he got me a paperback, which is very sweet. I then have Sean's stack of Christmas presents to haul for him. So Mum got him a copy of It by Stephen King because our copy got really beaten up when we were reading it, and this is a much cooler cover. The baby's got him Things to Do with Dad, bundles of fun for everyone. I got him The Girl Who Speaks Bear by Sophie Anderson because I know he's interested in her novels. And I also got him Fatherhood, The Truth by Marcus Berkman because I thought that could be a bit of fun to read together. As well as The Arithmetist by Brandon Sanderson, which was one of the only Brandon Sanderson books that we didn't own, and I found this free in a charity shop and it's in perfect brand new condition, so that makes it a great Christmas present in my books. Sean's dad got him Stormbringer by Michael Moorcock. This is the second book in the Elric saga. Mama and Grandad got him The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, part 1 and 2, the Fairy Loot editions. He hasn't opened the bubble wrap yet, so I'm not going to open the bubble wrap, but we have done an exclusive unboxing of these because my friend lent me his copies because we were trying to not let Sean know that he had copies coming. We also got him The Big Blueberry Bath Off by R.L. Stein. A signed copy of Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton because he's a huge Harry Potter fan. The Last Hero by Terry Pratchett, illustrated by Paul Kidby. And Eragon's Guide to Allegesia by Christopher Paolini because he likes the series much more than I do and I knew he'd get a kick out of it. Our friend Laurie also invited us to a carol singing service, and in the church hall they had a buy what you want book sale, so pay what you want to buy the books. So we got Malamander by Thomas Taylor, which is another middle grade that I've heard really great things about. Living and Dying on the Internet by Alex Day, which I think is going to be a controversial read, but Sean was really interested in it. How Not to Hate Your Husband After Kids by Jan C. Dunn. This is very much in the same lines as The Truth About Fatherhood. I think it could be fun to read together and see what people are saying. 101 Things to Do Instead of Playing on Your Phone, which I think is a guide I definitely need. Bedtime Stories for Worried Liberals by Stuart Heritage. This was literally just picked up because there was an avocado on the front, and because I have my Snuggie with the avocados on it, the kids call them mama pears, so we had to take it. Sam Wu Is Not Afraid of Zombies by Katie and Kevin Sang. And last but not least, we have Blankets by Craig Thompson, which is a graphic novel I've been interested in for a very long time. It's humongous, and I couldn't believe I finally managed to get hold of a copy. We've also got some books that we got free. So The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang in paperback we got from the local free book swap in our community centre. I wanted to read it. I didn't want to read my Illumicrate edition. I don't have to now. From a local free book box we got Wanderers by Chuck Wendig. I know nothing about this, but I recognise the author's name and it sounds amazing. And The Lost Man by Jane Harper in hardback. And this hardback is actually signed. And it was in a free book box nearby, so I'm so happy. I have a proof of this one because I was on the blog tour, but I never actually got a finished copy. And I have one now. And then from charity shops, possibly the biggest steal this month was Les Mis by Victor Hugo in the Penguin Clothbound Classics for like £2, which I was very happy with. And the funny thing is, Mum asked me the day before if I had it, and I said, yeah, I think that's the biggest one I have. And then I said, no, I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking of The Count of Monte Cristo. And I have this one, so that was fate. I picked up The One by John Mars because I've heard Books and Lala say quite a lot of good things about this one. Picked up The Joy of Less, a minimalist guide to declutter, organise and simplify by Francine J, because as you can tell we have a lot of clutter in our house, we have a lot of books. I would like to stop doing that by buying more books. The logic is there. I also have Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. This was the only book in the Cinder series that I still needed, and I found it in a local charity shop. A Kind of Spark by Elle McNichol, which is Elle McNichol's debut novel. Have been really excited to read this one, but hadn't picked up a copy yet and found it in a charity shop. Cold Justice by Ant Middleton, which we bought because he was doing a signing in our town, and then we were too lazy to go to the signing because the queue was too long and we didn't think we'd get back in my lunch hour. So this was a waste of time, but still sounds really good. And Stepping Up by Sarah Turner, who is the Unmumsy Mum. This is her debut novel, and we really love the Unmumsy Mum, so we thought we would read her novel too. And then last but not least, I've just got to read out what Kindle books we bought this month and then work out how many books we hauled this month. So let us do that. So on Kindle, we got Bunny by Mona Awad. Again, really recommended by Books and Lala. I think it's a dark academia story. And again, all of our Kindle books that we get are only ever 99p, so that's always a steal. Red Seas Under Red Skies, which is the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series by Scott Lynch. I have the first book physically and the third book on my Kindle, so good to get the second one. We have The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, because then I don't need to read that beautiful Fairy Loot copy that I just showed you, because it's only 99p, so that was a good choice. The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling, which is the sequel to the X-Hex. We bought the Fairy Loot edition, so it's good to have the sequel lined up. Traitor in the Ice by KJ Maitland, which is the sequel to The Drowned City. Haven't read either yet, but they sound amazing. All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. Have heard amazing things about both authors, but haven't tried them yet, so it was a good chance to pick that one up. Shards of Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which is the first book in a series. We've got the second one already. Family of Liars by E. Lockhart, which is the prequel to We Were Liars. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, which is the first book in, I believe, a duology. Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. I picked this one up because I think The Broken Binding were reading it as part of their book club, and I've just realised that I did not join in with that, so that was a bit of a waste of time. Oops. And then we have She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. Really like the cover of this one, have been interested in it for a while. The Christmas Murder Game by Alexandra Benedict. Bought it to read over Christmas. Didn't read it over Christmas. Have it lined up for next Christmas. Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. Again, so we don't have to read the Fairy Loot edition. You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thau. Have heard amazing things about this one, particularly from Maddie from Book Browsing Blog. It Ends at Midnight by Harriet Tice. This was a local book club pick for Bert's Books, who is a local bookstore, so if they recommend it, I'm happy to pick it up. And 20th Century Ghosts by Joe Hill. And that was everything that we've hauled this month. So let me work out how many books that is and I will get back to you. 88 books. 88 books across 2 months is 44 books a month. But considering a lot of these were gifts, it's not as bad as it seems. But it's also still very bad. And we will get that under control in 2023, hopefully. Because I've been trying to get it under control all this year. And apparently that hasn't worked. I'm Alyce, this is the Bumbling Blogger. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you'd like to subscribe, we'll be super duper grateful. Please let me know how many books you hauled over the months of November and December, and then we'll see you in a couple of weeks for our January haul, which will hopefully be a bit smaller, but I've also got a lot of pre-orders suddenly arriving, so we'll probably be about as big. Thank you for watching. Bye!